A businessman named Ellison is commuting home on the train from New York City to Connecticut. He's trying to focus on his newspaper when a young man slumps down on the seat next to him. The man appears a total wreck, trembling and twitching, seemingly disconnected from the world. He finally pulls himself together enough to apologize to Ellison for his manner and explains why he's so distraught. 9 years earlier, the stranger explains, he had been the head of his college fraternity during his senior year. The fraternity was quite exclusive. There were only a dozen or so members. Only 3 freshmen were allowed to pledge each academic year. As a part of the rite of admittance, the pledges were put through an elaborate and fantastic ritual. On a starless night, a party of 12 headed out to the deserted house, miles from campus. The place had been abandoned for years and had fallen into severe disrepair. Local legend had it that the place was haunted by its final owner, who had murdered his wife and children and been hung for his crimes. The frailest of the 3 pledges was selected to enter the home first. He was instructed to enter the building, stay there for half an hour, then return. The rest of the group waited a short distance away by a bonfire they built. After 45 minutes or so, the pledge had not returned. Thinking that he was playing some kind of prank, the second freshman student was sent in to fetch him. Some time passed without results. No sound could be heard. The fire was burning low. The third pledge, a handsome, well-built athletic type, was sent into the house. He grinned and held onto the building, calling out for his classmates. More time passed, but no one returned. Finally, the fraternity president walked into the house. As he entered, he was greeted by a musty smell, like that of rotting books. He called out for the boys and investigated by flashlight. He could find no sign of them, but he could hear a distant sound, a faint, steady tapping noise coming from above. He followed the sound and went upstairs. It seemed to be coming from the roof. A ladder led through an open skylight. Climbing up, he stuck his head out. He could see the third boy lying on the roof, stretched out on his stomach. His hair was snow white. His eyes rolled back in his head. He seemed senseless. In one hand, he held a hammer covered in blood. The boy was tapping weakly on the tin roof with it. The fraternity members were able to get the boy down and took him to the on-campus hospital. He died the next morning without uttering a single word. No trace was ever found of the other 2 boys. The businessman, Ellison, isn't sure what to make of the story. Is his fellow passenger a drunkard? He responds that this happened 9 years ago. Surely the man can't be this upset still. The young man focuses his burning eyes on Ellison. Then he says, "Every year, on the anniversary of that night, one of the 9 remaining men from that hazing party had gone insane, driven mad. They would be found gibbering nonsense, tapping on the floor with a bloody hammer. They'd always die within 24 hours. In a low and precise tone, the young man explained that the next night would mark the anniversary, and that he was the only survivor left.